Carnival, a time of celebration in Greece, a break from everyday worries, and a chance to forget the country's troubles. For Panayotis Argyrakis, Carnival is a time of cashing in. But when the mask comes off, it reveals the uncertainty of life in Greece.
Life in Greece is a lot like juggling, actually. It's a strange situation that we've been living here for the past 5 years. It's like we've been living the same day every day for 5 years now. It's a day that you switch on the TV and you hear in the news that, oh, we're about to get bankrupt. We hope that reforms actually will take place, and maybe this is the last chance that we have.
Tourism is crucial to the Greek economy, none more so than on the island of Mykonos. Luxury hotel owner Iraklis Simopoulos describes running his business under the current circumstances.
We need a permanent and stable solution so the investors will come back to Greece, so we can plan our own businesses, how we will manage to run them. We have to know what will be the environment, the taxes, because now the economy is frozen. So, for example, I want to build a new hotel and I don't know what will happen next month. So this makes us stop everything and to wait. We cannot hold our breath forever.
On the famous Athens street of Voukourestiou, renowned for its high-end boutiques and shops, you will find few people looking and even fewer buying.
The Greek economy is in dire straits. The government appears to have been given some breathing space. But is this a question of simply kicking the can down the road, or is it truly a first step to recovery?
Senior political and financial analyst Nick Marcouzis says now is the time to start addressing the make or break issue: debt relief.
4 months from now, we will again be talking about very tough negotiations between Greece and the Eurozone about how to progress, and that's the big question mark hanging over this deal, because it leaves it just short of when Greece has to repay the European Central Bank almost 7 billion euros in the summer, and with no clear picture about how we move forward here and if there will be debt relief.
Hopes and fears, a juggling act as Greece and Europe consider their next moves. CNN, Greece.
Off a remote airstrip in the middle of Chad's austere landscape, some of the world's most elite soldiers have come together. We're with America's secretive special forces, the ground rules, no identification, no on-camera interviews, and no combat technique specifics.
Utilize that cover that truck is giving, right?
Here, the Chadians drill on how to respond to a vehicle ambush. Their commander, Captain Zakaria Madiga, tells us, if you have this kind of training, you can defend yourself from death. This is Exercise Flintlock. 28 nations in all, American and Europeans training with African elite units to respond to a growing threat from terrorist groups. Nigerian Navy Special Forces, who have lost men to the fight against Boko Haram, instructed by the Brits on how to extract a wounded soldier while under fire.
The countries that make up the Lake Chad Basin have been heavily criticized for their slow response to the threat posed by Boko Haram. As one U.S. Special Forces operator put it, Boko Haram was allowed to fester. So as important as the tactics learned here are, what is equally, if not more significant, is that this exercise will strengthen the newly formed coalition.
A regional coalition at war with Boko Haram to the west, surrounded by even more threats. From here, Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb operates in the northwest, ISIS to the east. Dangers Europe already faces. Among Flintlock's training partners, Belgium, a country that recently had its own sense of security shattered by extremist violence.
And everyone is trying to do their part, because there's not really a sense of national security anymore, where it's more of a risk society in a sense where what happens far away is eventually our concern.
It is all of Europe and America's concern. A U.S. Special Forces operator telling us, quote, "We need to build relationships in Africa, and you can't do that if you aren't on the ground." Arwa Damon, CNN, Mao, Chad.